you love yourself, if you love your family, it's a real good idea to become a generalist. In this world that we live in, we're encouraged to become specialists, to put the vast majority of our energy, our time, and our attention into one subject. But when we do that, we create many pockets of need that must be filled by other people who have the information and knowledge that we are now lacking because we've concentrated all of our attention over here. Now, when that happens, we set up a situation where those areas that we need the most become the most valued insofar as how much money we will spend to get those needs met. Right? As we pay other people money, that's how we do things. So, what this does is it creates perverse incentives within the fields that people need to constantly be going to get their most basic needs met, like to stay alive, medicine, food, education, housing. Okay? On Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that's at the bottom. You need all those things to live. You can't advance in your evolution as a person if you don't have your basic survival needs met. So most of us experts out here in the world actually don't know how to meet our basic needs. Okay. Now, when you have an economy where you constantly have to be consuming and spending and earning money, you're not really incentivized to fix anyone's problem because you need them to keep coming back to you, because that's what your job is to sell this service or this good, right? And if it's so good, your service and good, that it solves the person's problem, they stop coming to you. They don't need to spend any more money. So our world's full of perverse incentives because of the way we're doing things. And the most corrupt systems are food, medicine, healthcare, housing, education. Okay? Part of becoming a generalist is understanding how things are connected and understanding the underlying patterns of life. Because these areas of expertise that we each find ourselves focused on, these are boxes that we have been put in, and these boxes have been created by drawing arbitrary lines. Because everything is connected. When does biology become chemistry, and chemistry become psychology, and that when does that become physiology, and when does that become kinesiology? All of these things are actually the same thing, but we've broken them down into little bitty bits. We focused on one area, and now we don't understand 99.9% of the world around us because we've been so hyper-focused and concentrated on becoming an expert. That leaves us vulnerable and susceptible to predators and abusers and manipulators. And by the way, predators and manipulators and abusers are actually created by the system where we all become focused on becoming an expert because it leaves everybody vulnerable. Okay, that's a lot of times that's why people become predators, because they're desperately seeking to get their needs met and they're in survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, you do whatever you gotta do, including lie, steal, cheat, kill, poison the water supply, poison the food supply, create wars. You know, anything to keep the economy going, anything to keep people spending money, anything to keep people buying your products. So how do we overcome that? How do we combat that? How do we make a change? I think a first step is taking personal responsibility in meeting as many of our own needs as we can, or at least understanding how those needs are met. So should the need arise, we can have a hand in it. We can help ourselves out. And we don't have to just trust some random person is going to do right by us. Like, I don't know how to fix my car. If my car broke down right now, somebody could rake me over the coals and tell me that my car needs $1,500 worth of work when it really needs $500. I wouldn't know. Same thing with going to a dentist. And I'm not like, I'm not going to learn dentistry, but I can learn how to take care of my teeth well enough that maybe I don't need a dentist quite as much. I can learn about how to take care of my health. I can understand my anatomy, my physiology, so that I'm not constantly going to a doctor and putting my hand out for a pill. I can understand, or I can learn how to grow food, so that if all of a sudden food goes through the roof at the grocery store and I don't have enough money, well, I can go in the backyard and start building soil and planting a seed and growing my own food. This is how you stay free. Knowledge is power. Power is freedom. And our collective knowledge, how to be a human, okay, that and wisdom and information and knowledge has slowly been eroded over time by people who have a lot of money and a lot of influence and a lot of power, so that we can be easily controlled and manipulated and taken advantage of. There's a movement right now to remove science, technology, engineering, and math out of the school system. Yeah, that sounds like a brilliant idea. That sounds like that's in our best interest, to not understand how the world goes round. That's just a step further in the direction of becoming more vulnerable to predation. So if you love yourself and you love your family, it's a real good idea to become a generalist and to understand the interconnectedness of all living things.